Hello everyone, assalamu alaikum, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a very special one because today we are going to be testing a foundation. I don't know if you can tell, but I am quite obsessed with foundations. I have a drawer full of foundations and I'm not proud of it. It's an addiction. Do I need to go to therapy? Probably. Will I? No, I would rather spend that money on more foundations. Yeah, that is not very cool of me. Anyways, you guys, so in today's video we are going to be talking all about the brand new, the Lucent Matte Foundation by Zay Beauty. Let's take a look at the claims and the packaging of this foundation first. This foundation comes in a really nice sleek glass bottle that is also frosted, and on top of that it has a pump. We always appreciate a good pump, you guys. They have sent these two shades to me called Rumali and Barfi. Barfi is described as having slightly cool undertones. To me, it just looks like a really nice light neutral shade. As for Rumali, it is described as a light shade with warm undertones, and I absolutely agree with that. Let's blend out these swatches to see the true color of the foundation. Never rely on a heavy swatch of the foundation. Always blend it out to see the actual shade. While editing, I realized that I swatched Rumali quite heavier than Barfi, so here is a picture comparison so you can differentiate the colors better. Now let's do the swatches on my face and see what shade actually matches me better. Notice this patch of discoloration that I have on my cheek. When I swatch the shade Barfi, it perfectly matches to my discoloration, which means that it is going to be too neutral on me, so I'm going to choose the shade Rumali. I like to match my foundations mostly to my neck and my hands because my face is slightly paler and more pinker than the rest of my body. For my skin prep, I just used a makeup spray and my regular moisturizer. I'm also color correcting today because my skin is hideous nowadays for some reason. They have suggested that you use 2 pumps if you want full coverage, but I'm just going to go with 1 pump and I will add more later on. Whenever I'm going to blend a foundation with a sponge, I like to apply a thin layer with a brush first. So this is me blending it in real time, and you guys, this foundation is just blending itself. I was amazed at how easily it was just blending out. I did not have to work at all, and I was getting pretty good coverage even with a sponge. Now we all know that sponges do tend to suck up a little bit of the product, and that makes the coverage slightly less. I haven't even used half a pump and I got pretty decent coverage. I was super impressed here. I have not taken any more foundation. I'm just using what was left on the back of my hands. At this point, I would say the coverage is pretty medium with even less than 1 pump. So I'm just going to use this all up and cover up my problem areas and see how this foundation layers up. And I think it layers up beautifully, you guys. I had absolutely no issues in blending it out on top of itself. And here I am with my makeup all complete, looking like an entirely different person who has had enough sleep, who does not have any stress. Now take a minute and let me know what you think of my base right now before I let you know about, my opinion, my experience. We are getting real close up and personal here, you guys. There is absolutely no texture enhancement anywhere. It actually looks like I just have really amazing skin. It did not settle into my pores or fine lines or my smile lines, and even on areas where I had dry patches, it has not enhanced them at all. Zay Beauty is a very desi brand. It is actually a Pakistani brand, so all of their products are catered towards more desi skin. And keeping that in mind, they have launched this foundation with 8 shades, and the shade range is pretty nice, I would say. Of course, 8 shades is not going to cover every single skin tone that is on the planet, but like I said, they are a Pakistani makeup brand and their shades are going to suit mostly Pakistani skin tones. And I do have to say that the way that they have formulated their foundations, the undertones, They are amazing. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Pakistani people cannot be lighter or darker than these shades. These are the only shades that are going to fit, and if you are darker or lighter, you're not Pakistani. No, that is not what I mean at all. These are just the most common shades. The shade that perfectly matches me is called Rumali, and they have explained it on their website as being a light with warm undertones. And the best thing about their warm undertone is that it is not orange. It leans more towards slightly olive undertone. Now this is something that people don't understand. People usually associate olive undertones with quite medium to dark skin, which is false. Not true at all. Even if you have light skin, you can have very olive undertones, and that is what confuses so many people when they are matching me to their foundations, because they will be matching me to a very light shade that has very warm undertones, and their warm undertones lean more towards orange than yellow. So their foundations always end up looking slightly orange on me, which is honestly, who wants to look like a Cheeto? No one. I cannot believe that there are still brands, like huge brands, that have just not gotten the undertone game right. But you guys, Zay Beauty did. They got the undertones right. If you are a desi person who always struggles with undertones, try out their foundation. And they are so nice. You just message them on Instagram and they will help you choose your shade. I have to say that these two foundations were gifted to me very kindly by Zay Beauty, but that is in no way going to affect my opinion on the foundation at all. As we all saw, the foundation blended beautifully. I had absolutely no problems in blending it at all. And it claims to be a medium coverage foundation, medium to full coverage foundation, which I definitely agree with. If you just apply a thin layer, you get medium coverage, which is quite enough for daily use. I would say it is not a light coverage. It is true to what it says on the bottle, medium coverage. You can totally layer this up to get to full coverage, which I did. So sorry if you can hear my baby playing in the background. Wherever I go, my babies follow me, so please excuse the background noise. It is definitely buildable, and I did not notice any patchiness or streakiness when I was layering it up. It layered beautifully. The finish of this foundation is just so beautiful, you guys. It is not completely matte, and it is definitely not dewy or glowy. It just looks like skin, like how you would think a perfectly normal skin looks like. That is how it looks. So here I am after 5 hours, and you guys, what do you think? How do you think my base looks right now? As for me, I think it looks absolutely perfect. My nose is very slightly oily. I did not use a powder that is that controls oil at all, and there is still no settling in my fine lines and in my pores, and nowhere that the texture is enhanced at all. So I'm pretty happy with how my base looks right now. So this is the next day. I completely fell asleep last night and forgot to do my second check-in, which was supposed to be at around 8 hours, but my baby is really sick and I was taking care of him, and then I actually fell asleep in my makeup, which is something I absolutely do not recommend at all. But I have to say, when I woke up at 7 a.m. in the morning, my makeup looked absolutely flawless. It looked phenomenal. The only reason I forgot to take, or rather did not intentionally take pictures, is because I don't want to promote that, sleeping in your makeup. That was a mistake, and that only happened because my son was so sick and I was taking care of him all day and I was super tired. This is the next day and I have just finished my makeup. It is 6:30 right now. 6:30, 6:40. I used completely different setting powders and concealers and the rest of my makeup today, just to show you how this foundation works with different kind of products. If you want to know what products I used in combination with this foundation both yesterday and today, I will list them all in the description box down below. So if you want to know, you know where to find them. Other than that, you guys, I tried the shade Barfi today instead of Rumali. You know how I was talking about undertones and how undertones really affect your makeup. The shade Barfi has neutral undertones, which look slightly ashy on me, as I do have very olive yellow undertones. I just wanted to show you guys how different undertones can affect your makeup. So in case you're thinking, this foundation match is off, Just keeping in mind that I'm doing this just for testing purposes only. I know that my perfect shade matches Rumali. I hope you can see that my face does look slightly ashier than my hands, which is what I wanted to, test out for myself, because somebody was telling me that I have neutral skin, and this just proved that I do not. And here I am almost 8 hours later. What do you think of my base right now, you guys? I was so tired and my concealer did me dirty this day. But anyways, the foundation, it absolutely did not do me dirty. It looked so good. I used a slightly glowier powder this day, so my base looked more glowy than yesterday. My enlarged pores were not enhanced at all. My nose was very moderately oily, nothing like how it usually is, especially when I have not used an oil controlling powder. Only this area looked slightly rough, but that too only happened when my ring light was on or when my flash was on. Even my smile lines are not enhanced, which is just wow. I also decided to do a flash test, and I'm happy to report that it does not have flashback. As for the price of this foundation, it retails for around 3000 rupees, and I know some people might think that is too much, but Zay Beauty is not cheap makeup at all. I mean, you all know cheap makeup, don't you? Like we hear about those brands all the time that are just really cheap, or fake dupes. Zay Beauty is not that at all. I absolutely do not believe that about them in any way. I have seen how much hard work they put into their brand, and they came out with a foundation. They did not just slap their name on a formula and call it their own. They have been really formulating this for years. I know that. Why does a Pakistani brand need to be super affordable even if they are this good? I mean, there are absolutely no beauty filters, smoothing filters on my videos at all, and my skin looks amazing. I mean, my skin is not even doing that great nowadays, so for it to look this smooth, and I don't use any smoothing primers or any extra step to really make my skin appear smooth. This is all this foundation. There is so much that goes into making a good beauty product, and Zay Beauty is really doing the most. I mean, I'm a really harsh critic, and most of the times I cannot find anything bad to say about it, but this is a very high performing foundation. I see myself using it on brides. I see myself using it for my models who are going to be shot in very dangerous photography lights, as I like to call them. It does not enhance pores or texture at all. I have so much texture here. I have so much texture around my mouth because this area gets really dry, and right now my cheeks are also super dry for some reason, but this has not enhanced any texture at all. And with that, and again, this is without any primers or any extra steps to make my skin look super smooth. I just put on my moisturizer and then apply this foundation on top. If you are a makeup lover, you would know that I'm truly not helping this foundation looking good on my skin. So if it does look this good, it is all its own doing, not me helping it in any way. The pros of this foundation, right? There are so many pros, you guys. It has the most beautiful natural skin finish. The coverage is super buildable. It is super easy to blend. Oh my god. It does not enhance any smile lines, any creases. Unless you already have very deep creases in your face, this foundation is not going to enhance them at all. It is very suited towards all skin types, and it wears beautifully throughout the day. My nose, it does not make my nose get super oily, which can happen sometimes with foundations that are more suited towards dry skin, so I have to take extra measures around my nose so that my nose does not get oily. But I did not do that with this foundation at all. I just used the same powder all over my face. By the way, there is nothing wrong in using a specific powder or a specific primer on certain areas of your face. I just want to give you guys how my skin is going to look with just this foundation, with no extra help. So let's talk about the cons of this product. Now, the cons of this product, honestly, there are no cons. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to think about a con, because nothing comes to my mind when I think about a con with this foundation. What is a con? It does not know what con means. I mean, you guys, see for yourself once again. What is a con? What is one con that comes to your mind when you look at my skin with this foundation? Like, I know right now I have the wrong shade on, but I just did that to show you guys, you know, how wearing a wrong undertone can affect your makeup. This is not the foundation's fault, this is my fault. As for my ratings, you guys, I think I have to give it a 10 out of 10. Oh my god, what is happening? What is happening? It is very, very rare that a foundation gets 10 out of 10. Yes, the shade range could be extensive, but as they are a Pakistani brand and they are suited towards, you know, Desi, Southeast Asian, South Asian, Middle Eastern skin, I would say they are pretty spot on. And that was all, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked my video, please do hit that thumbs up button, and if you want to see more from me, please do consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.